पहले नीम में सोचता था वैसा नहीं है.
But it was the same, but he got a taste.
लेकिन वो नीम सेम ही था, उसको
So
उतना
that's how it works. You just
उतने
keep
समय
chanting and pray to Krishna that you're chanting. You want that you're chanting for service.
तो चैंट करते रहना चाहिए और भगवान से प्रे करना चाहिए, सेवा भाव से
engage me in your service.
भगवान से प्रार्थना करना चाहिए कि मुझे अपनी
Associate
सेवा.
with devotees who do have a taste.
तो इस तरह से भक्त टेस्ट डेवलप कर सकते हैं. Thank you, Maharaj. Next question. If one's family or parents don't become little favorable, so what should a devotee do? I want to dedicate my life for the service of Srila Prabhupada. तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि यदि किसी भक्त के माता पिता थोड़े से भी भक्ति को लेकर अनुकूल नहीं है तो क्या करना चाहिए? मैं तो अपना पूरा जीवन श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी की सेवा में समर्पित करना चाहता हूँ.
That depends,
Depends if you're a man or a woman.
That's one thing, and
ये निर्भर करता है कि आप पुरुष हैं या स्त्री हैं
how unfavorable they are.
और वो कितने उसके प्रतिकूल हैं भक्ति के.
Can't
अच्छा से आपका करियर बने, जॉब मिले, परिवार हो और इस तरह से सारी व्यवस्था हो.
So you can still be a devotee even though you have a job, even though if you get married, you can still be a devotee.
आप तब भी उस स्थिति में भी तो हमेशा भक्त हो सकते हैं. यदि आपका जॉब भी करते हो, विवाह भी हो, डिवोटी हमेशा रह सकते हैं.
And then Lord Caitanya told Raghunath, just be a good boy. Just go home and work in your family and be a good boy. I'll take care of it.
तो श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने उनको बोला, अच्छे बच्चे बनो और घर जाओ, वहाँ पे अपनी सारी जिम्मेदारियों को संभालो.
So gradually his parents became more relaxed.
और उनके माता पिता फिर थोड़े निश्चित हो गए.
And then he ran away.
And then he got the mercy of Lord Nityananda.
और फिर वो भाग गए और उनको फिर नित्यानंद प्रभु का कृपा प्राप्त हुआ.
But his father just accepted it then and sent money and tried to help him.
और फिर उनके पिताजी ने उसको स्वीकार कर लिया, उनको धन भेजते थे, उनको मदद करना चाहते थे.
But like Maharaj says, everything is you don't know the reason. Some are just atheists, like Hiranyakasipu or something. Some are just concerned, how will they live or how will we live? Who will take care of us?
तो जैसे
Natural. So be kind. And
जैसे महाराज ने बताया कि वो हमें जानना होगा कि उनका क्या चिंता है. क्या वो नास्तिक हैं हिरण्यकशिपु की तरह, या वो चिंता करते हैं अलग अलग आपके जीवन की बातों के बारे में. हमें उनके प्रति दया पूर्ण विश्वास.
And be patient don't try to do this kind of thing abruptly. You know, you need to prepare yourself for that.
और इसके लिए धैर्य भी रखना चाहिए, एकदम से अचानक से कोई ऐसा कदम नहीं उठाना चाहिए, हमें धैर्य के साथ पालन करना चाहिए.
You say you want to give your life to Prabhupada, but how much experience have you got living in an ashram?
आपने कहा है कि आप अपना जीवन श्रील प्रभुपाद जी के लिए समर्पित करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन आपको आश्रम में रहने का कितना अनुभव अभी है आपको?
It's not an easy thing.
ये कोई आसान काम नहीं है.
Go ahead.
Next question, Maharaj. Maharaj, why does many devotee fall down even after so much Shravan, Kirtan and even Dham Yatras? So भक्त का प्रश्न है कि कोई एक भक्त का कैसे पतन हो जाता है, इतना श्रवण कीर्तन करते हैं, धाम यात्रा भी करते हैं, फिर भी क्यों?
Because Maya is very powerful. So for some time they may go away, but maybe after some time they will come back.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं क्योंकि माया बहुत प्रभावशाली है, तो हो सकता है कि कुछ समय के लिए वो चले जाएं, लेकिन हो सकता है फिर कुछ समय बाद वापस भी आ जाएं.
We've seen a number of devotees who were very senior in the Krishna consciousness movement, and after some time they come back.
तो हमने ऐसे बहुत सारे उदाहरण देखे हैं जिसमें भक्त बहुत सीनियर होते हैं भक्ति में, फिर चले जाते हैं, लेकिन फिर कुछ समय बाद वापस आ जाते हैं.
So Krishna consciousness is eternal, and whatever service they do, it's for their eternal benefit.
तो कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस इटर्नल है, और जो भी हम इसमें सेवा करते हैं वो हमारे इटर्नल बेनिफिट के लिए होता है.
Go ahead.
And often it's Vaishnava pride.
ज्यादातर ये वैष्णव अपराध या अहंकार की वजह से होता है.
Someone may be getting a lot of praise. I think somebody talked about that the other day. Then you get puffed up.
कई बार किसी का बहुत तारीफ हो जाता
Criticize
है,
devotees, and then you have to leave for a while.
तो वो बहुत अहंकार में आ जाते हैं, फिर वो भक्तों की निंदा करते हैं, फिर कुछ समय के लिए कई बार उनको दूर हो जाते हैं भक्तों से.
But they'll almost always come back.
You know, sometimes people think going to movies or watching Bollywood movies or something is for their preaching, you know, but it can be very contaminating.
कई बार भक्त सोचते हैं कि मूवी पे जाना और ये प्रचार की दृष्टि से बहुत अच्छा है, लोग सोचेंगे कि ये लोग भी प्रैक्टिकल हैं, लेकिन वो कई बार बड़ा दूषित करने वाला हो सकता है.
And sometimes devotees think, I'm just so busy, I don't have time to chant my rounds.
और कई बार भक्त सोच सकते हैं कि बहुत व्यस्त हो गया हूँ, मेरे को माला करने का समय नहीं मिल रहा.
And so if you do like that, then it's just a question of time before you go away from Krishna consciousness.
तो अगर आप ऐसा कर रहे हैं तो फिर ये तो बस समय की बात है कि कब आप भक्ति से दूर चले जाएंगे.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj. Next question. How can I develop genuine taste for holy names? Sometimes chanting become mechanical and I am not able to chant more. तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि हरि नाम के प्रति कैसे टेस्ट उत्पन्न किया जाए, और मेरा चैंटिंग जो है मैकेनिकल हो जाता है और कोई टेस्ट नहीं फील होता है.
Why are you not able to chant more?
आप ज़्यादा चैंटिंग क्यों नहीं कर सकते?
Your stubborn mind doesn't allow you to chant more.
क्योंकि आपका ढीठ मन जो है वो आपको करने नहीं देता ज़्यादा माला.
So if you listen to your mind, yeah, then you won't get a taste for the holy name.
तो अगर आपका मन इस तरह से है तो आपको फिर टेस्ट नहीं मिलेगा हरि नाम में.
You have to be very determined, very serious that you really want to get a taste for the holy name.
आपको इसके बारे में बहुत निश्चित होना पड़ेगा, बहुत गंभीर होना पड़ेगा कि मुझे हरि नाम में टेस्ट आए.
His Holiness Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj used to talk about creating a school for crying, to train all of us to cry for Krishna.
श्रीला गौर गोविंद स्वामी महाराज जी बोला करते थे कि ऐसा एक स्कूल होना चाहिए जहाँ पर हमें कृष्ण के लिए रोना सिखाया जाए.
Right, he wanted the point is that you want Krishna so badly that you'll shed tears.
तो उसका अभिप्राय है कि हम भगवान को इतना ज़्यादा चाहते हैं कि हमारे आंखों से अश्रु आ जाएं.
And go step by step. How does it go? Shraddha, Sadhana, Sadhu Sangha,
Bhajana Kriya,
Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nivritti, then Nishta. Where's Nishta? So try for Nishta rather than taste. First get steady. Just try to be steady. In the Alcoholics Anonymous, their thing is 1 day at a time.
तो
Today I won't drink anything. Not my whole life. Then it's a panic. So the japa workshops, I think they said one round at a time or one mantra at a time or something. You know, just can you chant one round? Okay, okay. Another one. Can you do another one? You know, and get steady. Then when you're steady, you get anartha nivritti. Then we can have a taste because we're not distracted by all the anarthas.
तो
We have to go step by step. You know, we try to jump ahead. I want prema. How can I get prema? Well, you have to be completely humble first. That means you have to do any kind of service that comes up and stay steady and and respect devotees and never get disturbed if devotees treat you wrong and so many things. Right? Then you can get prema all of a sudden.
थैंक यू महाराज. तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि हमें स्टेप बाय स्टेप जाना चाहिए. एकदम से प्रेम के कृष्ण प्रेम का सोचेंगे तो शायद मुश्किल होगा. और महाराज बता रहे हैं कि जैसे कि इसको अगर हम उदाहरण लें कि जब कोई शराब छोड़ना चाहता है तो वो एक दिन के लिए सोचता है कि आज एक दिन नहीं मैं पीऊँगा. अगर वो बोले कि पूरे जीवन नहीं पीना है तो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा ये सोचना. तो इसलिए एक दिन नहीं पीना है, फिर अगले दिन नहीं पीना है. तो महाराज बता रहे हैं जपा वर्कशॉप में भी इसी तरह से बताया जाता है कि एक मंत्र पे ध्यान से सुनना है. तो हमारा मन कहता है कि ठीक है ये मंत्र तो सुन लूँगा, फिर अगला मंत्र भी सुन लेता है. तो ऐसे करते करते हमारा स्थिरता आ जाता है. और जब स्थिरता आ जाता है तो अनर्थ निवृत्ति होती है, फिर टेस्ट आता है. और हमें इसके लिए विनम्र होना पड़ेगा. जो भी सेवा है उसको करना चाहिए और भक्तों को आदर देना चाहिए. Thank you. Next question. How to accept Srila Prabhupada as the most respectable Siksha Guru and read his books and hear him with full devotion every day. तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी को सबसे महत्वपूर्ण शिक्षा गुरु के रूप में कैसे मैं समझ सकता हूँ, कैसे मैं उनकी किताबों को और उनको पूरी भक्ति के साथ नित्य दिन सेवा करूँ.
Well, you chant Prabhupada's pranam mantra.
आप श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी के प्रणाम मंत्र को,
And you chant Prabhupada's Guru Puja.
आप श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी की गुरु पूजा अटेंड कीजिए.
Offer some flowers to Prabhupada.
कुछ फूल अर्पण कीजिए श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी को.
And read Prabhupada's books regularly.
और श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी के ग्रंथों को नियमित रूप से पढ़िए.
Especially read the books about Prabhupada's life written by Prabhupada's servants.
खास तौर से श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी की जीवनी के बारे में पढ़िए जो श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी के सेवकों ने लिखा है उनके बारे में.
Right, we have a number of books. Mukunda Goswami wrote one book, Miracle on Second Avenue.
तो हमारे पास ऐसे कई सारी किताबें हैं. श्रीला मुकुंद गोस्वामी महाराज ने लिखा है कि सेकंड एवेन्यू का चमत्कार.
Satsvarupa, of course, wrote his Prabhupada Lilamrita.
सत्सुख महाराज ने लिखा है लीलामृता.
Barijan Prabhu wrote his My Glorious Master.
भूरिजन प्रभु जी ने लिखा है कि माई ग्लोरियस मास्टर करके पुस्तक.
Bhakti Vikas Swami wrote a book,
My Prabhupada.
My Prabhupada.
भक्ति विकास स्वामी महाराज जी ने लिखा है माई प्रभुपाद पुस्तक.
And
Shamsundar.
Shamsundar Prabhu chasing rhinos with the Swamiji.
और श्याम सुंदर प्रभु जी ने लिखा है चेजिंग राइनोस विद द स्वामी.
And many others.
And then the Shrutakirti.
What's the problem? What's the difficulty?
What is the difficulty?
श्रुत कीर्ति प्रभु जी ने लिखा है व्हाट इज द डिफिकल्टी.
Yeah, read these books and you'll know more about Prabhupada and you'll be filled with awe and reverence.
And there's so many videos, memories, and Prabhupada is, the Shiksha Guru is just one part of his actual position. He's the founder Acharya. He was very, very strict. That is written on every letterhead and every building and every book. The founder Acharya, that's much more than just a Shiksha Guru. Shiksha Guru is a part of it because he designed, he's not only giving just like some spiritual instruction, he designed the entire society and gave exactly how it should be run and or even created the GBC before he left and so many things.
You don't want
Founder Acharya is a very serious title.
You don't want to read other people's books without first reading Prabhupada's books carefully.
तो महाराज बता रहे कि ये कई सारी ये पुस्तकें हैं, इनको पढ़ेंगे तो श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी के प्रति श्रद्धा और बढ़ेगा. और फिर महाराज बता रहे थे कि शिला प्रभुपाद जी का जो पोजीशन है इस्कॉन में केवल एक शिक्षा गुरु का ही नहीं है। शिला प्रभुपाद जी इस पूरे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय कृष्ण भावनामृत संघ के फाउंडर आचार्य हैं और शिला प्रभुपाद जी इस बात को लेकर के बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट थे। तो हर जगह, हर लेटर हेड पे, बुक्स पर, बिल्डिंग्स पर ये फाउंडर आचार्य, जो कि एक बहुत बड़ा टाइटल है, क्योंकि शिला प्रभुपाद जी ने इस पूरी संस्था को डिज़ाइन किया, जीबीसी बनाया अपने जाने से पहले। और महाराज ने बोला कि पहले शिला प्रभुपाद जी की पुस्तकें पढ़ना चाहिए बाकी किसी की पुस्तकें पढ़ने से पहले।
And we should listen to Prabhupada singing bhajans and kirtan.
हमें शिला प्रभुपाद जी के द्वारा गाए भजन कीर्तन सुनना चाहिए।
Lecture.
Prabhupada's lectures are there also, yeah.
उनके लेक्चर्स को भी सुनना चाहिए।
Like this, if you spend your time like you can spend your whole life just hearing Prabhupada.
And if you especially want to just know Prabhupada as a person, other than the guru sitting on the Vyasasan, we also have all these recordings of his conversations and morning walks, which are very friendly and casual, although he's preaching constantly. But you see what a sweet person he is. You know, and he could relate with anyone and anyone perfectly, anything, and all the letters. You know, there's just so much. So take advantage, associate with him in those ways.
तो महाराज बता रहे थे कि इतना कुछ है, अगर आप लेक्चर सुनेंगे, कीर्तन सुनेंगे, तो पूरा जीवन भी जो है आप सुनते रह सकते हैं शिला प्रभुपाद जी को और उनका संग ले सकते हैं। और फिर महाराज ने बताया कि शिला प्रभुपाद जी एक गुरु के रूप में तो देख ही सकते हैं, उसके अलावा शिला प्रभुपाद जी का जो व्यक्तित्व है उसको जानने के लिए हम प्रभुपाद जी का रूम कन्वर्सेशंस, उनके मॉर्निंग वॉक, वो किसमें जानेंगे तो हमें पता चलेगा कि शिला प्रभुपाद जी कितने स्वीट हैं, उनके लेटर्स, बहुत कुछ है शिला प्रभुपाद जी को एसोसिएट करने के लिए। Thank you, Maharaj. Next question. I run away from taking initiatives in services. How to increase confidence? तो ये भक्त पूछ रहे हैं कि मैं सेवा जब आती है तो मैं भाग जाता हूँ, और कैसे मैं अपना कॉन्फिडेंस सेवा करने में और बढ़ाऊँ।
Well, if somebody asks you to do something, if some service is given to you, then you should accept it and do your best to do it.
यदि आपको कोई भक्त कोई सेवा देते हैं तो उसको स्वीकार करना चाहिए और अपना पूरा प्रयास करना चाहिए उसको अच्छे से करने का।
You don't want to be avoiding doing service.
आपको सेवा से बचने की कोशिश नहीं करनी चाहिए।
And if some senior devotee comes along and gives you something to do, asks you to do something, you should be willing to do it and try to do it.
और अगर आपको कोई वरिष्ठ भक्त कोई सेवा देते हैं आपको, तो उसको करने का प्रयास करना चाहिए।
Right? Don't be attached to the result. But you should do your duty. You should do what's expected from you.
उस सेवा से क्या उसका रिजल्ट आएगा उससे ज़्यादा हमें अटैच नहीं होना चाहिए, उसको अपना ड्यूटी समझते हुए उसको करना चाहिए।
Karmani evadikaraste mapali shuka. You have a right to perform. You must perform your duty, but don't be attached to the result.
तो आपको अपने उसको सेवा के और ड्यूटी के रूप से करते हुए और रिजल्ट की चिंता ना करते हुए।
If you're too worried about the result, that's not good. It's not good to be too attached, or it's not good to be too detached.
तो रिजल्ट क्या निकलेगा उससे बहुत ज़्यादा आसक्त होने के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, और बहुत ज़्यादा उससे निरासक्त भी नहीं होना चाहिए।
We should do what's given to us for Prabhupada, for Krishna's service.
तो जो हमें दिया गया है उसको शिला प्रभुपाद जी और भगवान की सेवा के रूप में स्वीकार करके करना चाहिए।
There's fear of failure and fear of success also.
तो फेलियर और सक्सेस दोनों का ही डर होता है।
We think if I fail, everybody will look down on me. And
हमें लगता है अगर हम सेवा
so
में
Prabhupada said, chase the rhinoceros. Then if you fail, they'll say, well, it's impossible anyway.
तो अगर हमें कई बार डर लगता है कि सेवा में अगर हम नहीं कर पाए अच्छे से तो सब लोग क्या कहेंगे, तो इसलिए शिला प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला कि गेंडे का शिकार करो, क्योंकि वो वैसे ही इतना असंभव सा काम है, उसको करेंगे, फेल भी हो गए तो दिक्कत नहीं है।
And sometimes we're afraid of success because we think if I do it nicely, they're going to ask me to do it again and again, and I don't want to do it again.
और कई बार सेवा को अच्छे से करने में भी भय होता है कि बार बार फिर मुझे ही बोलेंगे सेवा करो।
So just do it.
बस करो सेवा।
That Shruti Kirti's book is What's the Difficulty? Because Prabhupada said that so many times.
श्रुति कीर्ति प्रभु जी का पुस्तक है, What is
Any
the
hesitation? What's the difficulty? Just do it.
शिला प्रभुपाद जी ने ये स्टेटमेंट बहुत बार कहा है, जस्ट डू इट। Thank you, Maharaj. Next question. My question is how to remain humble and tolerant in all circumstances and challenges, except that it's Krishna's will. तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि हर एक परिस्थिति में हर एक कैसे विनम्र और टॉलरेंट हम बने रहें, ये समझते हुए कि वो भगवान का इच्छा है.
Well, Lord Caitanya said, constant chanting of the holy name.
चैतन्य महाप्रभु ने बोला निरंतर हरि नाम का जप.
That will help us to be humble.
ये हमें विनम्रता करने के लिए मदद करेगा.
Of course, we have to chant in a humble state of mind. We have to cultivate that mood.
पहले हमें विनम्रता के भाव से जप करना होगा. हमें ऐसा अपने मन को बनाना होगा.
We have to understand that we're not the body. We're tiny spirit souls. We're insignificant living entities.
तो हमें ये समझना होगा कि हमें शरीर नहीं है, हम आत्मा है और हम बहुत छोटे हैं.
Prabhupada told the story to, I think it was Tamal Krishna, when he was a young man. He was managing the Los Angeles temple.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने शायद ये तमाल कृष्ण महाराज जी को बताया, जब वो युवा थे वो लॉस एंजलिस मंदिर को संभालते थे.
And so Prabhupada said, you know, the whole material world is 1/4 compared to the spiritual world.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने बताया कि जो पूरा भौतिक दुनिया है वो आध्यात्मिक जगत का 1/4 है.
And in this material world there's an infinite number of universes and planets.
और इस भौतिक जगत में भी असंख्य यूनिवर्स और प्लैनेट्स हैं.
And in this one universe is one planet called Earth.
और इस ब्रह्मांड में ये एक प्लैनेट है जिसका नाम पृथ्वी है.
And on Earth there's one country called USA.
और उस पर एक देश है जिसका नाम यूएसए है.
In USA there's one city, Los Angeles.
और उस यूएसए में एक शहर है जिसका नाम लॉस एंजलिस है.
And there's one street there called Watsika Avenue.
और उसमें एक गली है जिसका नाम है वाटसिका एवेन्यू.
So he said, you know, you just understand how insignificant you are, but still you're thinking you're the center of the universe.
तो आपको इससे पता चलना चाहिए कि हमारी स्थिति कितनी छोटी है और आपको लगता है कि आप पूरे ब्रह्मांड के सेंटर हो.
So like that.
Prabhupada was very personal. He said there's one Tamal Krishna thinking I am very important. So I think Prabhupada, that's when Prabhupada wanted him to order 40,000 back to Godhead or something, so he agreed.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी चाहते थे कि 40,000 बैक टू गॉड हेड मैगजीन वो ऑर्डर करें और फिर उन्होंने किया.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Next question. How to finish our past impious karma for which I am suffering? Can we change our destiny? अपना पुराना जो कर्म है वो कैसे हम उसको ख़त्म कर सकते हैं जिसकी वजह से हम अभी बहुत सफरिंग कर रहे हैं, और क्या हम अपने भविष्य को बदल सकते हैं?
Yes, the power of devotional service can change your destiny and it can take away all your past karma.
तो भक्ति की जो शक्ति है वो बिल्कुल हमारे पुराने सारे कर्म को खत्म कर सकता है.
You're always making your own destiny. Whatever we do now is creating a future.
हम अपना फ्यूचर खुद बना रहे हैं. आज जो हम कर रहे हैं उसी पर आधारित होगा हमारा भविष्य.
And there's a very famous little clip on YouTube called 1 Minute, if you want to hear it. Srila Prabhupada, 1 minute. Somebody said, Prabhupada, you know, how long does it take? We're so sinful and to get free from all our karma. And Prabhupada said, you're not reading Bhagavad Gita? 1 minute!
तो महाराज बता रहे कि एक बहुत फेमस YouTube में एक वीडियो है जिसका नाम है श्रीला प्रभुपाद 1 मिनट, और उसमें भक्त प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं और प्रभुपाद उनको बोल रहे हैं कि भक्त पूछ रहे हैं कि कितना समय लगेगा शुद्ध भक्ति में. तो प्रभुपाद बोल रहे हैं कि आप भगवत गीता नहीं पढ़ रहे हो, 1 मिनट.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Next question. When I get seva to serve senior Vaishnavas, somehow the service does not happen perfectly or does not go well, then I feel guilty and I think I am bad. Why does this happen? Is it my bad karma or something else? तो भक्त कह रहे कि जब मैं किसी सीनियर वरिष्ठ भक्त की सेवा करने का प्रयास करता हूँ तो वो अच्छे से नहीं हो पाता है और मुझे उस समय फिर बड़ा खराब लगता है। तो ये क्यों हो रहा है? क्या ये मेरे कर्म की वजह से है या कोई और कारण है?
It's just purification.
ये केवल प्योरिफिकेशन।
Yeah, if you're trying your best, then you simply, and you didn't get very good result, then you simply come and you apologize. I'm very sorry, I tried and somehow I haven't been very successful with what you wanted me to do.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि यदि आप अपना प्रयास पूरे अच्छे से करिए और अगर उसके बाद रिजल्ट नहीं भी आता है तो आप उन भक्त के पास जा सकते हैं और उनको बता सकते हैं कि मैंने प्रयास किया लेकिन किसी कारण मैं कर नहीं पाया जो आप चाहते थे।
So humility, you have to have genuine humility. You have to apologize. I'm sorry, I tried. Please, maybe you can help me. Tell me what I could do to do better.
तो एक विनम्रता का अभाव होना चाहिए और अगर हम उसको नहीं कर पाए तो हम उस विनम्रता से क्षमा मांगते हुए उनसे बोलना चाहिए कि कृपा करें कि हम उसको अच्छे से कर पाएं।
We cannot expect that everything we do will be successful.
हम ऐसा सोच नहीं सकते कि हम जो भी करेंगे वो बिल्कुल सही अच्छा ही होगा उसका।
Lord Nityananda went to Jagai and Madhai, and the first time he wasn't successful.
तो नित्यानंद प्रभु जब जगाई मदाई के पास पहली बार गए थे तो उनको भी सफलता नहीं मिली।
So, failure is the pillar of success, they say.
तो फेलियर सक्सेस का पिलर है।
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
अगर आपको पहली बार में सफलता नहीं मिलता है तो बार बार प्रयास कीजिए।
Yeah, it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up.
और कितना बार भी नीचे गिरे कितना बार उठे।
So,
Go ahead.
Prabhupada, well, there was one letter. He got a letter and the secretary didn't want to read it to him.
श्रील प्रभुपाद जी को एक चिट्ठी मिला, सेक्रेटरी पढ़ना नहीं चाह रहे थे उसको।
Devotee had left, but he was saying, Prabhupada, before I was a devotee, I was always smoking marijuana. But now I try so hard, I keep trying, but I keep falling back, I keep smoking marijuana. And he was saying, but I keep trying, and the secretary thought Prabhupada was going to be really angry, And Prabhupada was quiet, and he said, just see, he's trying so hard for Krishna.
तो बता रहे कि श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी के सेक्रेटरी के एक चिट्ठी पढ़ नहीं रहे थे प्रभुपाद जी के सामने, क्योंकि उसमें एक भक्त ने लिखा था कि मैं छोड़ रहा हूँ भक्ति क्योंकि मैं ये छोड़ नहीं पा रहा स्मोकिंग करना मारवाना। तो उनको लग रहा था कि श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी बहुत गुस्सा होंगे, लेकिन श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी ने जब उस लेटर को सुना तो बोला कि देखो कितना प्रयास कर रहा है ये भक्त भक्ति के लिए, छोड़ने के लिए उसको। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इज इट पॉसिबल टू रीच कृष्णा प्रेम इन वन लाइफ? इफ इट इज यस, प्लीज इंस्ट्रक्ट एज व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मेंटेलिटी इज रिक्वायर्ड टू रीच दैट पोजीशन। तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि क्या एक ही जीवन में कृष्ण प्रेम हासिल करना संभव है? यदि है तो किस तरह की हमारी मानसिकता होनी चाहिए वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए?
In Caitanya Charitamrita it is stated, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Saja Kabunai Shravanadi Shudachite Kori Hiudai. That Krishna Prem or love of Krishna is eternally established in the heart of all living entities, and it awakened by hearing.
तो चैतन्य चरितामृता में ये बताया है कि कृष्ण प्रेम हर एक जीवात्मा के रूप में सनातन रूप से स्थापित है और जब हम श्रवण करते हैं तो फिर वापस उजागर होता है।
So it's certainly possible in this life, in the one life. The Prabhupada certainly encouraged us. He said, make this your last life, don't come back again.
तो ये बिल्कुल निश्चित तरह से संभव है। श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी ने भी इसको बहुत हमें उत्साहित किया कि हम इसी जीवन में ही भगवत धाम वापस जाएं और दोबारा ना आए कभी। हाँ,
In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says so many times, surely you will come to me, you will get to my nature. He says so many times.
भगवत गीता में भगवान
Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvata tattva deham punarjana naiti mameti suarjana. You can go to Krishna, he promises so many, but we have to surrender. We have to give up the false ego.
तो भगवान ने बहुत बार भगवत गीता में बोला हमें अपने मिथ्या अहंकार को छोड़कर शरणागति का रास्ता अपनाना होगा
and have a service attitude,
और सेवा का भाव होना चाहिए. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन.
unconditional service attitude.
उसमें कोई कंडीशन नहीं होनी चाहिए. भक्त ने क्वेश्चन डिवोटी हैज आस्क्ड डिवोटी केयर इज वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ डिवोशनल सर्विस बट मैनेजमेंट सिंपली speaks of devotee care when it come to practical they will not do anything, even very senior devotees. Why? Whereas there are so many local organizations they are successful in this regard. तो भक्त ने कहा है कि दूसरे भक्तों की सेवा करना ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण अंग है हमारी भक्तिमय सेवा का, लेकिन मैनेजमेंट सच में इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं करता है. बहुत सीनियर भक्त भी कुछ नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन हम देखते हैं छोटी छोटी संस्थाओं में ये अच्छे से होता है हमारे से ज़्यादा.
Well, devotee care, there's different levels. You know, some people may not be so much interested and may not consider it to be one of the priorities, but other people may take it very seriously and may do all they can to help people. I see a lot of examples of devotee care in our movement.
तो महाराज बता रहे डिवोटी केयर के बारे में भक्तों का अलग अलग उसमें रुचि है. कई भक्त जो उनको लगता है कि ये कोई बहुत महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ नहीं है, लेकिन कई भक्त ऐसे भी हैं जो कुछ भी करने के लिए तैयार हैं दूसरे भक्तों की सेवा करने के लिए, और मैंने ऐसे कई सारे उदाहरण देखे हमारी संस्था में.
Many, like the Chopati temple, Radhanath Swami before was at a project that was very project oriented and not concerned about devotees. So he said, I established this Chopati on the opposite, devotee care oriented. It works, and there are many places like that where many temples have devotee care committees and they're very effective in doing that. Mayapur, Jayapataka Maharaj is always pushing it and organizing it.
तो महाराज बता रहे कि डिवोटी केयर
many
चौपाटी मंदिर में जैसे श्रीला राधानाथ स्वामी महाराज ने भी इसको डिवोटी केयर पे बल दिया है, और कई ऐसे मंदिर और प्रोजेक्ट हैं, जैसे मायापुर में भी श्रीला जयपताका स्वामी महाराज ने भी इसको किया. तो कई जगह बहुत अच्छे से हो रहा है.
Of course, it depends what the devotee actually means when he talks about devotee care. He may have his own ideas, what he wants somebody to do for him, which may not be reasonable.
तो ये डिवोटी केयर वो भक्त क्या समझता है डिवोटी केयर के बारे में, ये भी उस पर अलग अलग भक्तों पर निर्भर करता है. कई बार वो सोच सकता है कि किसी एक पर्टिकुलर चीज को भक्त लोग उसको मदद करें, जो कि हो सकता है कि संभव ना हो.
Yeah, he may be thinking, I want to open my business, they should lend me some money and I'll make a nice business and after I make a lot of money I can pay them back.
तो कई बार भक्त ऐसे सोच सकते हैं कि मुझे एक नया बिजनेस खोलना है, तो डिवोटी केयर का मतलब ये सारे मुझे पैसा दें ताकि बिजनेस अच्छे से मैं कर लूं और फिर बाद में इनको वापस दे दूंगा.
So that's not really devotee care.
वो डिवोटी केयर में नहीं आता है.
But, we're not meant to be giving handouts to people all the time.
तो इस तरह का उदाहरण डिवोटी केयर का नहीं है.
But we do try to help people in their spiritual life. We try to help people in their social life also.
तो हम इस तरह से भक्त को उनके आध्यात्मिक जीवन में और सामाजिक जीवन में भी मदद करने का प्रयास करते हैं.
Sometimes couples are having problems in their marriage, and the spiritual teachers or the leaders, they will spend a lot of time counseling them and helping them to keep their marriage together.
कई बार हम देखते हैं कि पति पत्नी के बीच में काफ़ी अनबन होता है, तो उस समय जो सीनियर भक्त हैं वो काफ़ी समय लगाते हैं, जो उनके लीडर होते हैं काफ़ी, ताकि उनका विवाह बना रहे.
So some of these allegations are not true.
और तो इस तरह के ये जो एलिगेशन है ये सही नहीं है.
Some are.
महाराज कह रहे कुछ सही भी हैं.
Mostly not.
Maharaj said some are, but mostly not.
तो महाराज कह रहे कुछ सही हो सकते हैं, लेकिन ज़्यादातर ऐसा कहना कि डिवोटी केयर नहीं हो रहा ये सही नहीं है.
Go ahead.
हरे कृष्णा. थैंक यू. आई हैव सीन यू I have seen you both since last 3 parikramas. When I am coming, what keeps you so much inspired that even at so much advanced age, you are staying in the camp, following the whole parikrama while walking? What should be our real mood when we come to Sri Dham Mayapur in Sri Navadwip Mandala Parikrama? तो भक्त का प्रश्न है कि दोनों महाराज को पिछले 3 सालों से वो देख रहे हैं नवद्वीप मंडल परिक्रमा में, और उनसे पूछना चाहते हैं कि क्या ऐसा उनको प्रेरणा मिलता है कि इतना उम्र होने के बाद भी वो कैंप में रुकते हैं और सारी परिक्रमा का पालन करते हैं, तो हमारा क्या मूड होना चाहिए?
Yeah, when I first went on parikrama, sometimes I'd think, no, I'm getting too tired. I can't walk anymore. Then I'd look over and I'd see some older Mataji with a limp, running along. And then I thought, well, that inspired me.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि
who do I think I am, But it's all by the causeless mercy. We're just being carried along by all of the other devotees.
Yeah, I feel that too. I think, just being here with all the devotees, that gives me the strength to do the parikrama.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि पहली बार जब मैंने किया तो एक वृद्ध महिला को देखा, वो परिक्रमा कर रही, तो मुझे लगा कि मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकता हूँ। और फिर दूसरा महाराज बता रहे कि आप सब भक्तों का संग, तो फिर महाराज भी उसको रिकन्फर्म कर रहे कि आप सब भक्तों की वजह से उनको प्रेरणा मिलती है और वो यहाँ परिक्रमा में आते हैं।
And of course the holy dham gives a lot of mercy.
और यहाँ का जो धाम है वो भी खूब सारी कृपा देते हैं।
And think of what Prabhupada did. In one day he did more than I could do in a million lifetimes, but he just kept going, traveling around the world and dealing with unlimited, challenges. Always blissful. So we try to hang in behind him,
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी को भी हम याद कर सकते हैं कि कैसे जो एक दिन में वो इतना कार्य करते थे जो मैं कई मिलियन जन्मों में नहीं कर सकता, और श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी इतने सारे चैलेंजेस, इतने सारे ट्रैवल के होते हुए भी काफ़ी प्रसन्न मुद्रा में सेवा में लगे रहते थे निरंतर।
Srila Prabhupada himself, we never saw him go out on parikrama.
श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी को हमने खुद से तो नहीं देखा कि वो परिक्रमा में जाते हों।
He was already in older age.
वो पहले से ही वृद्ध अवस्था में थे उस समय।
And he'd been to all these places before.
और वो इन स्थानों पे पहले ही बहुत बार आ चुके थे।
And he was putting more importance on writing his books rather than on going out on parikrama.
और श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी अपनी पुस्तकों को लिखने के लिए ज़्यादा महत्व दे रहे थे परिक्रमा पे आने की अपेक्षा।
He was going around the world again and again.
तो पूरी
But he wanted the devotees, he would ask, have they gone out? They're going out.
तो महाराज बता रहे कि श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी पूरी दुनिया में भ्रमण करते थे अपनी सेवा के लिए, लेकिन वो पूछते रहते थे कि वो भक्त गए क्या परिक्रमा में, वो भक्त गए क्या, ऐसा पूछते थे। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन महाराज, which type of chanting of the holy name frees us from all sinful reaction? होली हरि नाम का किस प्रकार का जप हमें सारे पापमय जो कर्म है उसके रिएक्शन से बचा सकता है?
Offenseless chanting.
महाराज बता रहे हैं अपराध रहित जप।
We have to chant with full concentration. You have to focus on hearing and chanting.
तो हमें बहुत गंभीरता से जप करना चाहिए और श्रवण और जप पे दोनों पे पूरा ध्यान देना चाहिए।
And then you get the full benefit of the holy name.
तब आपको उसका पूर्ण लाभ मिलेगा हरि नाम का।
We have to hear carefully.
हमें ध्यान पूर्वक सुनना होगा।
We have to chant, pronounce the name nicely.
हमें जब जो हर एक शब्द को बहुत अच्छे से उसका उच्चारण करना होगा।
We're calling to Krishna.
हम भगवान को बुला रहे हैं उसमें।
So we have to call with love.
और हमें प्रेम के साथ भगवान को पुकारना चाहिए। Thank you Maharaj. Next question.
Aparada Gucci, Shudaname Ruchi, Kripa bolo habe hridaye sanchar kabe habe bolo se dinamar. Just study the Shikshashtak prayers. Goes from top to bottom.
शिक्षाष्टक प्रार्थना को सुनना
And
चाहिए.
bottom to top.
Yeah, that song is translated, when oh when will that day be mine?
तो उस
Taste for the name increasing, all my offenses ceasing.
तो कब वो दिन आएगा जब मेरा हरि नाम में रुचि होगा और मेरे अपराध जो है वो खत्म होंगे. थैंक यू महाराज. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज इन हिंदी. मुझे इस्कॉन में आए अभी 1 महीना भी नहीं हुआ है और मैं भगवान के 7 दिन में ही अपनी अच्छी दाढ़ी और बालों का त्याग कर दिया है. लेकिन अब सारे भक्त मुझे परेशान कर रहे हैं, मैं क्या करूं? मुझे दिन में 3 बार स्नान करा देते हैं, सुबह 2 बजे ही उठा देते हैं. मुझे उच्च भक्त से बात करने में मना करते हैं. मैं क्या करूं? मैं पागल हो जाऊंगा.
How many understand Hindi?
So Maharaj, the devotee has asked, it has been less than a month that I have joined ISKCON, and I've already given up my hair and my beard, and now I am feeling very frustrated because everyone is disturbing me. They make me wake up at 2 o'clock, and they make me wait. They get me wait 3 times in a day, and so I am getting very frustrated.
I mean, just on the parikrama or all the time?
तो ये परिक्रमा में है क्या हर समय ऐसा है?
Hang in there.
बने रहिए.
You're very lucky. You don't realize when you're lucky, you know.
आपको पता नहीं चल रहा है आप कितने लकी हैं आप.
And just think, if you had your hair and beard, what would you be doing, you know?
तो अगर आपके बाल और ये दाढ़ी होगी तो क्या करोगे?
Anyway, for some time, there's no harm for you to do these things. Wake up early and shave your head and so on. You do these
I
things.
hope they're letting you sleep early also.
Yeah. Sleep early. Get up early.
तो हमारे बता रहे कि ये तो अच्छा है. इसमें कुछ दिनों के लिए तो ऐसा करा ही जा सकता है कि आप जल्दी उठें और इससे महाराज कह रहे कि जल्दी सोना भी आप सीख रहे होंगे शायद.
Before becoming a devotee, you didn't sleep very much, and you'd sleep very late and wake up very late.
भक्त बनने से पहले आप बहुत लेट सोते होंगे और उठते भी बहुत लेट होंगे.
You didn't sleep very much.
आप बहुत ज्यादा नहीं सोते होंगे.
Karmis and materialistic young people, you know, they don't sleep much. They're all the time enjoying.
जो कर्मी लोग हैं, जो भौतिकवादी हैं, वो ज्यादा सोते नहीं है. हर समय वो कुछ भोग करने में प्रयास रखते हैं.
Trying to get some sense gratification.
कुछ इंद्रिय तृप्ति प्राप्त करने की चेष्टा करते हैं.
And so, you know, you come to Krishna consciousness. It's a new lifestyle.
आप भक्ति में आए, ये एक नया स्टाइल है जीवन का.
No, try it for some time. Gradually, you get a taste. You start to like it.
तो इसको कुछ समय तक प्रयास करते रहिए, धीरे धीरे आपको अच्छा लगने लगेगा.
There is happiness in the mode of goodness. That in the beginning it's like poison, but gradually it becomes nectar.
तो जो सतो गुण का जो सुख है वो शुरू में वो कड़वा लगता है और बाद में वो अमृत जैसा हो जाता है.
Okay.
Next question. Why Suvarna Sen had to wait till Kali Yuga to get liberated. Why not through Rama or Krishna? So भक्त का प्रश्न है कि सुवर्ण सेन को कलयुग तक का इंतजार क्यों करना पड़ा मुक्त होने के लिए? भगवान श्री राम या कृष्ण के रूप में से उनको कृपा क्यों नहीं मिला?
He wanted to get the most mercy.
वो सबसे ज्यादा कृपा चाहते थे.
Lord Ramachandra would kill the demons, right? Lord Ramachandra, he was the king. You couldn't have an intimate association with him.
तो भगवान रामचंद्र जो है असुरों का वध करते थे और वो राजा थे, उनके साथ बहुत नजदीकी से घुलना मिलना आसान नहीं था.
And Suvarna Sen wasn't very suited to become a gopi.
और सुवर्ण सेन जो है वो गोपी बनने के लिए ज्यादा सूट नहीं करते थे.
So Krishna Lila wasn't for him either.
तो कृष्ण लीला उनके लिए उतना सूट नहीं करता था.
But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Lila was coming. We have to understand the nature of time. You're thinking, oh, a long time, but actually it's just one breath of Mahavishnu, you know, the whole life of Brahma.
तो आपको लग रहा होगा कि बहुत समय हो गया और लंबा समय था, लेकिन ये तो महाविष्णु का केवल एक श्वास था.
Oh, you're thinking, oh, so long time.
आप सोच रहे हैं कि इतना लंबा समय है.
No, worth waiting for. Wait for Lord Chaitanya. He was very lucky.
तो ये महाप्रभु की कृपा के लिए इंतजार करना बहुत अच्छा था. ये बहुत लकी थे सुवर्ण सेन. तो
He was liberated anyway there with Narada Muni. He was crying out for Gauranga, Gauranga, but he got to take birth. We don't know what happened in between, but he eventually got to take birth in Lord Chaitanya's Leela. But it's not like we calculate how many millions of years that was. It could have been just instant, you know, because time is Krishna. So time travel in that way. But to join Lord Chaitanya's Leela and be an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya, that wasn't just liberation. Liberation is nothing. We're not after liberation. We're after Krishna's service.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि ये ऐसा नहीं है कि वो उसी समय जब वो मिले नारद मुनि से, तो उसी समय वो लिबरेशन के स्तर पे तो आ गए थे, क्योंकि बार बार वो गौरांग महाप्रभु का नाम ले रहे थे. और ये जो बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा समय लग रहा है, ऐसा लंबे समय नहीं है, क्योंकि समय जो है वो कृष्ण है. भगवान उसको एक इंस्टेंट में कर सकते हैं. और चैतन्य महाप्रभु की लीला में जब वो आए तो वहाँ पर मुक्ति का बात नहीं हो रहा है. भक्त मुक्ति नहीं चाहते हैं, वहाँ पर उनको गौर प्रेम प्राप्त हुआ.
He got the association of Narada Muni.
उनको नारद मुनि का संग मिला.
He was convinced. He surrendered.
और वहाँ पर ही उन्होंने शरणागति ले लिया.
Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Why does Lord Shiva has 5 heads? How many devotees are? How many Devi Devtas are there in universe? How many demigods are there? And can we recognize Lord Shiva as a demigod? भक्त का प्रश्न है कि भगवान शिव के 5 मुख क्यों हैं? इस दुनिया में कितने देवी देवता हैं? और क्या भगवान शिव जो है वो एक डेमीगॉड की कैटेगरी में आते हैं?
Well, we can ask him. Why you got 5 heads, Lord Shiva?
He doesn't always have 5 heads.
तो हम भगवान शिव से पूछ सकते हैं कि उनके 5 मुख क्यों हैं?
He's Mahadev.
वो महादेव हैं.
There's Devas, those are the demigods. Then there's Mahadeva, Shiva. He's an eternal form. And then there's Deva, that's Krishna. He's the god of the gods. And Shiva is the greatest of the gods, but he's not exactly one of them.
तो महाराज बता रहे हैं कि भगवान शिव जो है वो महादेव हैं, वो देवी देवताओं से ऊपर हैं. तो वो देवी देवता जो है वो देवता हैं, और ये भगवान शिव जो है वो महादेव हैं, इस उनके ऊपर हैं. और भगवान कृष्ण,
It's said that there's 33 million devas.
तो 33 मिलियन देवता हैं.
And Prabhupada said that the Bengalis are making up more all the time.
330. It's 33 crores.
33 करोड़.
Oh, really?
और प्रभुपाद बोलते हैं बंगाली लोग और देवी देवता बना रहे हैं.
Okay, we got to stop.
Hare
Thank you very
Krishna.
much. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Srila
Very good.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
He's got good eyeglasses. You can read them. He can read them. Oh,
Thank you,
he's
Maharaj.
got good glasses.
Thank you. So we want to
A good translator also.
thank you. So we want to thank
Hindi,
Maharajas for their wonderful association
Jai
and
Prabhupada.
nectarian session. So we thank by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. His Holiness Srila Kavi Chandra Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Bhakti Vigna Vinasha Narasimha Swami Maharaj ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jaya Mukunda Vasu Gosaya Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Sai Gaurang Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Sai Gaurang Hare Bol, Sai Gaurang Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Sai Gaurang Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Gaurang Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
नरसिंह पे बाद में प्रणाम करना बाद में
जय विष्णुपाद ब्रह्मंस परिवार अष्टोदश भाई चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद के जय विष्णुपाद ब्रह्मंस परिवार आचार्य अष्टोदश भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद के ISKCON founder Acharya, BBD founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Navadwip Mandala Parikrama ki, Shri Shri Madhadev ki, Shri Shri Nitai Pad Kamal ki, Ganga Yamuna Mai ki, Bhakti Devi Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki, Shri Shri Radha Madhava Shakhi Vrind ki, Shri Shri Panch Tattva ki, Samavet Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki, all glory to assembled devotees, all glory to assembled devotees, all glory to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada ki.
Shri Shri Prahlad Narasimhadev ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Pralada Dayine, Pralada Dayine, Rannakasi Purvak Sahaya, Rannakasi Purvak Sahaya, Rannakasi Purvak Silatangkano kaloye, Silatangkano kaloye, Heto Nishinha, Parato Nishinha, Parato Nishinha, Parato Nishinha, Heto Nishinha, Parato Nishinha, Jata Jata Jani Tato Nishinha, Jata Jani Tato Nishinha, Jata Jata Jani Tato Nishinha, Jata Jata Jani Tato Nishinha, He Nishinha, Hridaye Nishinha, Nishinha, Nrsimha, Hridaye Nrsimha, Nrsimha, Hridaye Nrsimha, Bahe Nrsimha, Hridaye Nrsimha, Nara Simha Madhi Shara Rama Pradi, Simha Madhi Sharanam Hamadin Sharanam Prati, Narasimhamadin Sharanam Prati, Tavakara Kamalavare Naka Adhuta Singha, Dalita Hiranyakasipo Tanadinga, Kesava Trita Narahari Rupa जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे भूत सिंह दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनु भृंग जय जय केशवदृशा नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे अद्भुत सिंह दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तनभिंग केशवदृशा नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे अद्भुत सिंह दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो जय जय केशवदृशा नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवदृशा नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जय केशवदृशा नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नृसिंहदेव नृसिंहदेव जय नृसिंहदेव महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य
सिंह भगवान की श्री प्रहलाद महाराज के श्री प्रभुपाद के
पीछे पकड़ना पीछे पकड़ना पीछे पीछे पकड़ना साइड में पीछे सामने कैमरा कैमरा हटाएंगे
हरे कृष्ण
अरे ना
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी 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 यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन बल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radhe. Jagannatha, Jaya Baladhara, Shubhadra, Jaya Shubhadra. Jaya Panchakata, Jaya Panchakata, Panchakata, Jaya Panchakata. Gauranika, 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 Jaya Gauranika. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলক শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে নাম অনে বাবে নীরা। গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পোলাক শরীরা, হরি হরি বলিতে না অনে বাবে নীরা। কবে নিতাই চাঁদের করুণা হইবে সংসার বাসনা মোর কবে আর কবে নিতাই চাঁদের করুণা হইবে কবে নিতাই চাঁদের করুণা হইবে সংসার বাসনা মোর কবে তুচ্ছ হবে কবে নিতাই চাঁদের করুণা হইবে বিষয় ছাড়িয়া কবে শুদ্ধ হবে মন কবে হাম হে রব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন বিষয় ছাড়িয়া কবে শুদ্ধ হবে রূপ রঘুনাথ পদে হইবে আকুতি কবে হাম বোঝাব সে যুগল প্রীতি
Anybody have a decibel? There's no mic. I'm sorry, it's so loud. It's dangerous. It's not only ear damage, brain damage. It's seriously medically fact. But everybody must be going deaf, so you just keep making it louder. Especially India. Lokanath Swami said, in the West they call it a sound system. In India it's called a loudspeaker. And you have to aim those cones right in your face. In many temples now they put a decibel meter. You can get one at the app, free. And it'll tell you the red line, you know. Don't hear any noise. These kirtans, they're always way over the top of them. The decibel meter will break. Hare Krishna. Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyanajana Shalakaya Chaksuramilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachara Shunyabari Paschacha Desa Tarane Vanchakalpa Trubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. That's a very important one. Prabhupada said we should every morning say that in the mood of asking for forgiveness of offenses. Do we have a Hindi translation? Do we have any other translation? English is all right? Yeah, sure, you know. I wonder sometimes because So we get a lot of questions, how to. Right? How to, a lot of times repetition, same thing. So Lord Rishabdev, in his instructions to his sons, when he gave up the kingdom and became Avaduta, he instructed his sons in the very important instructions. So the summary one is in verse 10 through 13 of the 5th canto, chapter 5. Now these little bugs that like to fly in my eyes are out, so I hope I can see, because once they get in there, it's... Hamse Guru Mai Bhaktyanu Varcha. It's too small, I can't read it, so in English I can read it. O my sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramahansa, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. In this way you should place your faith and love in me. Rishabdev is incarnation of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain. In other words, not try to avoid pain and not try to find pleasure. Right? Sometimes it's easier to tolerate pain than pleasure. Because pleasure, we think, well, let me get a little more. Pain, usually we want to get rid of it. Which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter. And you listen closely, you can see that all this stuff is in the Bhagavad Gita also, but spread out. Try to realize the miserable condition of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary systems. Janma Michu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. That means always see the miseries of birth, death, disease, and old age. And from the highest planet to the lowest, all are places of misery where birth and death take place. That's Bhagavad Gita. Krishna always says the same thing. He doesn't ever change his philosophy like everyone else. Philosophically inquire about the truth. That's what you're doing when you ask questions. Then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotional service. Everybody's doing austerities and penances for sense gratification, working in really hellish conditions. So many people, to try to get sense gratification. But they're just like the donkey. They hang a carrot in front of him, so he's trying to get it, so he just keeps pulling the cart all day. We're doing the same thing. Just working. Trying to get a promotion, trying to get a raise, trying to win the lottery. Give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in the service of the Lord. That's also Bhagavad Gita, how Krishna says, for one who is after sense gratification and vyabhasatmaka buddhi, can't be steady. Listen to discussions about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Because from lust, anger arises. And from anger, what happens? Bewilderment of memory. Right? And then, bloop, falls down into the material pool. Subdue anger and lamentation. Lamentation generally is material. I lost my money, I lost my girlfriend, my dog died. I was thinking one time in Mayapur, and I was thinking in many places, you walk around and there's signboards, lost cat, reward $500 if you find my cat. And then I saw one in Gornagar, lost cat, devotees. Because we get attached. They're living entities and they're very loving and reciprocal. So we get attached to these animals. I had a dog. When I was maybe 6 years old, I got this puppy. And it was my puppy, you know. And my father, I guess, wanted me to learn something. So I was taking care and trying to train him. It's kind of dumb and hard to train, but he was very loving. So sometimes he would come to school looking for me, and then I'd have to take him home, so I liked that. I'd get out of school for a few hours. Then our family went on vacation, and he stayed with my grandmother. And when we got back, my grandmother said, he's just in the basement, he's just been crying. And she opened the door, and he knew I was there. And he just came, he was a really big dog, and he just came running up the stairs and just, jumped on top of me. So naturally, you like your dog, We want to be like that for Krishna, like the dog. Uh-oh. I don't have your fingerprint. Okay? Give up enmity. Don't be the enemy of anyone. Abandon identifying the self with the body and the home. It's actually considered the worst thing to think I'm this body. It's the most... We have to understand we're not the body. Prabhupada said it so many times, but he also told us what we are. We're spirit souls. We're living entities. We're persons. And we're spiritual. And our real life is eternal. Practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place. And practice the process by which you can completely control your life, air, mind, and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Perform your prescribed duties and avoid unnecessary talk. Prajalpa, niyamagraha, right? No prajalpa. Prajalpa means gossip, village talk. But now with internet, the whole world is a village. So we can talk about what, somebody's doing in any country in the world and think we know everything about them because what we see in the news. And most of it's completely false. I went on the safari once with Chaitanya Maharaj, and we were up in North Bengal, Siliguri. There was a temple opening. So there was many devotees. So they put the sannyasis in the hotel room. So when you go in a hotel room, the first thing that person does is turn on the TV, and the air condition. So at that time in Israel, there was suicide bombers. And I go to Israel. So evidently, the news was on. And it would keep coming, the same thing over again. It looked like the whole country was just full of suicide bombers. Actually, it was just one, maybe a week before, and they just keep showing it again and again. So I got in so much anxiety, I called the devotees. I said, "What's going on there?" They said, "Nothing. It's completely normal." Because suicide bombing was considered normal, so they don't. But it's just that once in a while, 5 or 6 people get killed. Much more people killed in car accidents. But that doesn't get in the news. America is still crying about 50,000 Americans killed in Vietnam. But every year there's 50,000 people killed in car accidents. And there's abortion much more. They don't care about that. That's necessary for population control, right? War is the same. Always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, acquire knowledge from the right source. Thus, practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated to knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. So if you want to know how to give up your false ego, which is the whole problem, why we can't do all these other things, that's how. You follow the program that Prabhupada gave us. That's what this is. Prabhupada, everything is right out of the Bhagavatam. When I first read the Bhagavatam, I don't know which book, maybe it was Nectar Devotion, and there were so many amazing analogies and examples, and I was wondering, where did Prabhupada get this from? Then as I got more Bhagavatam, I saw everything is from the Bhagavatam. So much from 11th canto, but everything Prabhupada says is a living Bhagavatam. So in these verses, Rishabhdev tells his sons how they can be freed from false identification, arising from the false ego and material conditioned life. One gradually becomes liberated by practicing as mentioned above. Bhagavad Gita also says gradually, step by step. There was a song when I was a kid, one step at a time, boy, just one step at a time. Still on YouTube. Might take a little bit longer, but you'll be a lot stronger. Just one step at a time. The girl was 12 years old singing this. But so that's what Bhagavad Gita says. And gradually, step by step, you'll get purified. Don't expect, that you just get zapped. You take initiation and immediately you don't have any karma and everything is perfect and everybody will love you, bow down. It doesn't work that way. You take initiation and much more trouble comes. You have to be careful. You don't know what Krishna is going to do. If he's going to give you way more than you can deal with, or he's going to take away everything. He knows what's best. So it just repeats. By associating with devotee, the spiritual standard is maintained. Madhevas Yesham Twantakatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Dvanda Nirmukta. Then Dhridavrata. Then you can practice with a very strong vow. Dhridavrata. Yesham Twantakatam Papam. Giving up all sinful life and everything. Jananam Punya Karmanam. Then all good karma. Te Dvanda Moha Nirmukta. When you're free from the duality of dualities. What are the dualities? Huh? There's two of them. There's many more. The opposite dualities are opposite. So, Shitoshna, Sukha, Dukkha, that was the basic one. Shitoshna, Sukha, Dukkha, Da. Sukhi, Dukhi, Boli, Dake. Whether you're happy or sad, chant Hare Krishna. Right? Whether you're healthy or sick, whether you're rich or poor, whether you're beautiful or ugly, whether you're young or old, smart or stupid, right? Winner or loser, whether you're popular or hated, chant Hare Krishna. Steady, be steady. Just keep chanting. Then you just keep driving. Like normally, say you're driving your car, there's a storm. You might have to slow down, but you keep driving, and then you get through the storm. I was in Vrindavan, and we were driving from Varshana or someplace, and there was huge rain. And I was ready to tell the driver, just stop, we couldn't see anything. But then we got out from the storm, and it was nice. I got back to the apartment, and it wasn't raining, everything was okay. I was supposed to go to the dentist, I walked out the door and the rain came, bam, couldn't see anything. The storm caught up again. But we have to keep going. Sometimes we have to slow down for sickness, for whatever reason it is. You have to change your service. So free from duality. And Krishna lists so many dualities. Chapter 12, there's so many. Honor and dishonor, victory and defeat, fame and infamy, right? Credit and blame, all those things. To be free, we can't get excited because it's always going to change. Everything's going to change. This will end, this will change. Whether it's good or bad, it's not going to last. So don't get so excited when things are seemingly going good. We think we're chanting nicely, or we distributed a lot of books, or somebody liked our cooking or chanting or whatever. And don't get depressed when someone criticizes you, like someone said yesterday. Someone told me I shouldn't chant. It's not easy to hear that. So the next verse says, "As I have advised you, my dear sons, you should act accordingly. Be very careful. By these means you will be freed from the ignorance of the desire for fruitive activity, and the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. For further advancement, you should also give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." So that's a key factor. No matter what we do, it depends on the mercy of Krishna, what we're going to get for it. And the mercy may not be what we think is mercy, right? The mercy may be that we get really sick, right? There's a group of people that's organized, one doctor made, called Outstanding Cancer Patients or something. And so many of the people say, getting the cancer is the best thing that ever happened to me. All of a sudden I took life seriously and I appreciated every little thing. I realized there's no hope, in trying to pursue all this sense gratification because I can't do it anymore. And they get some realizations. So we have to pray for the mercy, but we have to take the mercy. our Vishnujan Swami, he was really amazing. He just was all attractive. You know, he would do Harinam for so many hours every day, beating the drum. I mean, long hours. And even other devotees, everybody wanted him to chant, because they just, even Gargamuni Prabhu, who he said, I hated going on Harinam, but I went just to hear him. And Prabhupada said, when I hear you chanting, I feel I'm in Vaikuntha. And he said, anyone who hears him chanting will become a devotee. And if you read the book, Radha Damodar, whatever it was, by Vyasaki Prabhu, it's about Vishnujan and Jayananda Prabhu. So many devotees that he interviewed. He said, I went to the temple, this was in hippie time, so many devotees were homeless. I mean, they were just moving around, living here and there, many people. So he said, I went to the temple, I heard Vishnujan chanting, and I stayed. And most of them are still devotees. So, anyway, Prabhupada said that about him. So, if one is a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciple, or a king instructing the citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions, even if his disciple, son, or citizen is sometimes unable to follow the order. The extreme example is the father of Jad Bharat. Jad Bharat did everything opposite what the father tried to teach him. But the father never gave up. He kept trying to teach him. And Prabhupada tolerated the devotees, in the early days especially. They didn't know anything. And they made so many mistakes. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity. Bhagavad Gita says, don't disturb the minds of the ignorant, but rather engage them. Can you give a donation? Can you help me? Jayananda Prabhu, my godbrother, he made so many devotees. And he was very favored of Srila Prabhupada. But he always was fixing cars or taking out garbage or something. Cooking also. And kirtan. Did everything. But he especially was doing the dirty work. But when anybody came to the temple, as soon as he saw them, he'd say, oh, phew, can you help me? I'm so glad you came. Can you help me? And they, naturally we like to help somebody. We feel important. And they would help him. And many times it was just taking out the trash, cleaning something. And many of those people became devotees, including Jaipataka Swami. He went in the back room. He was about 17 years old or something. And he came to the temple. And they said, oh, we're having a big festival and getting ready in the back. You can go help. So he went to the back, and they were building Rath Yatra cart in Jayananda. And he said, they all looked so blissful, he thought that was the festival. But then Jayananda said, oh, can you help me? Come here. Can you hold this nail? So he held a nail, and Jayananda pounded the nail in. And he said, that's great. Can you pound it in yourself? So he did it, and he said, very good, now pound all these nails here. And that's how he got introduced Krishna consciousness. He didn't tell him you have to give up meat, fish, and eggs and everything. Just pound nails. But he just said, very good, very good. You pound the nails.
Open, so just make like this.
You pound the nails so expertly. They should always avoid fruitive activity. If one puts into bondage the karmic activity as disciple, son, or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? It is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. As I have advised you, you should act accordingly. The same one. If one is serious about going back to Godhead, okay, we got that one. Due to the ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires, and all his plans are made for this purpose. Bhagavad Gita says he thinks that to enjoy the senses until the end of life is the goal of life. For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy, and due to this mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know about this. So we stopped, was it this morning at Surabi Kunj? Right? So that's where Lord Nityananda started the Namhata. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a book exactly how to organize and do Namhata. You have a traveling salesman, they go out, they meet a few people in a town, they set up a booth, and gradually they get more and more, and then they're distributing the holy name, then they start a center, and then it increases, and then they send out more traveling salesmen. And it has all instructions of accounting and everything. So Bhakti Charamraj found that book, and he gave it to Jaipataka Swami. So he started the Namhata in Bengal. Now there's 10,000 Namhata groups. And you see the Namhata building there in Mayapur. They're building another one because that's not big enough. There's so many, especially since Panchatattva was installed. I want to get the browser. It's got that Czechoslovakian, my battery was dead. So it's Lord Caitanya, Kabi Nityananda Morakori Doya, Chadibe Mora, Vishaya Maya. When you get the mercy of Nityananda, then you get freed of Maya. Diya Mora Nidya, Charanara Chaya. Then without any, desire for your own sense gratification, you get the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Then Namara Tete Dibe Adhikar. Then you get empowered to work in the marketplace of the holy name. This time? So that's what our movement is, the marketplace of the holy name. How do you go? Bhaktivinoda wrote many songs about it. This one's called Shri Nam Mahima, Dayala Gita, the song of the broker. A broker is a person who buys something from one person, sells it to the next person for profit. I sing of great happiness in Surabhi Kunja. The marketplace of the holy name has been opened. Nitai is the owner. The amusing thing is that he is selling the Shuddha Nam in that market only for the price of one's faith. All the devotees wait as the books, as he looks at their qualification and sells the holy name to them at a fixed price. If you wish to purchase the holy name, come with me. I'm going to see that great personality, Nityananda. You can buy the name of Krishna, and I will take my commission, and all of our desires will be fulfilled. Nityananda is extremely merciful. Only in exchange of one's faith, he gives the highest bliss. Then it's explained, if you have 100% faith, we get 100% Krishna. If we have 50% faith, we get 50%. If we have 10% faith, we get 10%. If we have imitation faith, counterfeit, and we don't get, then we get imitation Krishna and think, oh, this chanting doesn't work. And about Vishnu John, so he asked Prabhupada, why am I getting so much mercy more than everyone else? Prabhupada said, I'm giving the same mercy to everyone. You're taking it. It's not that Krishna favors someone and unfavors another person. We decide how much we're going to take. The mercy comes in the form of more service, more difficulties. Queen Kunti prayed for more trouble. I don't recommend that unless you're advanced, because then you depend on Krishna. When things are going easy, we don't usually forget Krishna. If Nitai sees in someone's eyes while chanting Gora, even once, he sees tears in the eye, he gives all support to that person. In giving the pure teachings of Krishna, he does not care for one's birth, wealth, knowledge, or strength. Immediately giving up the snare of Maya, either remain at home or in the forest as a sannyasi, and all troubles will cease. There is no more fear of Kali Yuga. The merciful Nitai gives the holy name even to the Chandalas. Bhaktivinoda cries out, except for the feet of Nitai, there is no other shelter. Nitai pada kamala, koti chanda susitala, echayayay, jagata jura. Heno nitai bine bai, Radha Krishna paite nai. If you want to approach Radha and Krishna, you have to get the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. And Prabhupada said, if you want to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you have to get the mercy of Jagai and Madhai. That means you have to preach to all the Jagais and Madhais. So there's another song, I don't know the title, where he's talking about this Namhata market. Says, and then this one he says the price is the 9 processes of devotional service. And he said you have to hurry up because these rascals, Shagai and Madai, are taking everything. They're cleaning out the market. There won't be any holy name left if you don't get there quick. Then he describes how all these other great personalities are storekeepers and managers and treasurers and all these different things, and guards. And Bhaktivinoda is a sweeper in the market. He gets whatever is dropped on the ground during the day. Sometimes you can go to the vegetable market after it closes and you can have whatever is on the floor. So this is, it's a very sacred place. So now there's that very beautiful temple there dedicated to the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. So the places themselves are full of potency. The Navadwip is a holy dham. It's not destroyed. So like when Markandeya Rishi, he was being battered like crazy in the devastating ocean of devastation. But then he saw this island, that's Navadwip. It's not affected by the devastation. It's transcendental, eternal. So Lord Caitanya will go to many, many places. There's one place, Rudradvip, and Shankaracharya came there. And Lord Caitanya said, don't come here. These people don't need your Mayavadi talk, He protected his people. All the great acharyas had a vision. They were here and had a vision of Lord Chaitanya, even though it was thousands of years before his appearance. And he revealed his incarnation in the Sankirtan movement, but he told them, don't tell anybody about it. So we have everything in the Bhagavatam, everything in the Bhagavad Gita, everything in the Mahamantra, everything in one Krishna. But for us to realize it, we need all these things. There's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, there's no need for initiation, you just chant Hare Krishna. And then the purport is very long, and it's all references as to how you have to have initiation. Because we're not pure. And initiation and taking up vows and practice, it will purify us so that we can actually chant. Instead of just counting beads, thinking, when will I finish my rounds? I'll never finish my rounds. It's too hard. Many devotees say that. And we need to get a taste. If you have a taste for chanting, then you won't have trouble chanting. Quite a few devotees came up today. It's hard for me to chant. Yeah, it is, because, we have so many other things on our mind. But if you just keep chanting, after a while, you just keep chanting. Forget about it. It catches you. And just join the kirtan. Kirtan, is especially Prabhupada stressed for our preaching, mostly what kirtan and prasadam. And people need to get purified. There was a story somewhere in Eastern Europe. A devotee went there and he didn't know the language. And he did a few Sunday programs somewhere in the park or something. And he had a lot of people come, and just kirtan and prasad. Then a devotee came who spoke the language, and he gave a talk. The next week nobody came. So he said, what did you say? He said, well, I told him you have to give up gambling and meat eating and drinking beer. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. Until they get a taste. Then you don't care about it. I remember I was very much attached to intoxication. Then I was distributing books, And we used to go to these drive-in movie theaters and concerts with all the cars, and everybody's smoking dope in the car before they go in, or drinking. So you know, and they roll down the window and hand you the cigarette, you know, right away. No, take this book. You know, usually they'll take it. But I was thinking, people still do that, you know. I thought it's so stupid. But previously, I thought it was wonderful. So that's the thing with sense gratification. We get a higher taste, and we want to chant. We don't want to stop chanting to do some stupid sense gratification. So it's very nice to see such a big crowd. I always find Mangal Artik here is the most blissful Mangal Artik. Right? Anybody else experience that? Huh? Yeah. Also, the showers are very nice. It's nice to, you know, group therapy, everybody doing the same thing together. And nobody can recognize anybody else very much. So I can wait patiently and without somebody trying to push everybody out of the way. Maharaj, Maharaj. Because nobody's, you know, spiritually we're all equal. And materially, you know, somebody's a better singer, somebody knows more slokas, somebody's a faster walker, somebody's a better talker. You know, we're not equal materially. That was Madhvacharya's basic preaching, difference. See the picture like this? The Supreme Lord and the living entity are different. And the Mayavadis is like, it's all one. But then he goes on. Then amongst the living entities, there's so much different, so many different species, and then within one species, there's so many different dogs, cows. You can look on the internet, breeds of Indian cows. You know, there's like 30 of them or something. What to speak of dogs? They have these little dogs this big, and they have these Tibetan dogs that they're bigger than a really, really big dogs. I don't know if you've ever seen one, but they're pretty scary. They're maybe, you know, 100 kilos or something. But there's many varieties. And then amongst material elements, there's so many varieties. So many different kinds of metals, so many types of gas, so many types of liquid. So there's all kinds of variety, but spiritually we're all equal. Nobody's better or worse. Someone may be in a position of authority and someone is in a position of submission, but we shouldn't be thinking, I'm inferior, you know, and if the leader is thinking, I'm better than all these other devotees, then that's when we have trouble. Even the materialist, there's one very famous guy advising mostly business people. He wrote all those books, The 1 Minute Manager, The 1 Minute Teacher, The 1 Minute Mother, The 1 Minute Father, The 1 Minute Salesman. And so he was interviewed, and somebody said, how do you decide who can become the CEO of the company? Chief Executive Officer. He said, when someone thinks, I am the servant of everyone in this company, and then he can be the chief. So how can you become the temple president? When you think, I'm the servant of everyone, I have to take care of everyone. Sometimes if we're in a management position, we think everybody has to take care of me. But it's the other way around. But if we take care of everybody, everybody will take care of us also. It's automatic karma. So we all are leaders. Everyone's a leader. Everyone has people looking up to them to follow. St. Francis of Assisi, anybody heard of him? The Roman Catholic saint. Maybe the most famous one, at least the one I know about. He was a real Babaji. He said caroling, you know, caroling, Christmas caroling. They go out to Christians and sing Christian songs on the street. He did that. People threw food at him and insulted him and chased him away. He said that's the religion of the age, praising God in the streets. That was 1,200 years ago. He said we should always be preaching, and sometimes we might have to talk. What does that mean? Huh? Yad-yadasharati shrestas. You know, Bhakti Tirtha Swami always said, walk your talk. Like sometimes there's so-called religious leaders, do what I say, don't do what I do. You know. But people are going to do what you do, right? Like my mother, she was addicted to smoking, and she knew how bad it was. So she's always trying everything to tell me not to smoke. Of course I was going to smoke. My mother smoked, my father smoked. It doesn't work to just keep telling you it's really bad. This is really bad, you should never do it. She tried. I mean, she didn't want me to drink Coca-Cola, you know, because she was addicted to that, and she knew how bad that was. Naturally, I wanted to drink unlimited Coca-Cola, which is really ridiculous because it's terrible tasting stuff. But, you know, somehow or other, Kali Yuga is so powerful. So we want to be addicted to the holy name. When John Lennon of the Beatles asked Prabhupada, how do you know who's an advanced devotee? Prabhupada said, whoever is the most addicted to Krishna. So normally we think of addiction as very bad, but if you're addicted to chanting the holy name, you can't live without chanting. All you can think about is, when am I going to chant? When am I going to get to the temple? When am I going to get in a kirtan? When am I going to sell the book? When am I going to meet a devotee? You know, then that's very good. Can't live without Krishna. That's a fact. So please, thank you very much for coming on this parikrama and taking the tapasya as the wealth of the brahmanas. But this is not really much tapasya. Right? Sometimes it's a little cold in the morning, then it's hot in the day, you know. But that's life. You might as well have it happen out here while we're chanting all day and hearing about Krishna, hearing about all the great devotees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur today, day before yesterday, that big minister came and he spoke very nicely. He was glorifying Bhaktisiddhanta, he was glorifying ISKCON, and he was glorifying Prabhupada. He didn't, nothing political, and it was broadcast all over India, I imagine. So it's very auspicious. Because in the beginning of ISKCON in India, the government thought that the devotees were CIA spies from America, which is pretty ridiculous, because they all had visa problems. CIA spies, first place they would have had a Russian visa, and they would be speaking Russian, so they wouldn't suspect them because India was very friendly with Russia. And then one guy wanted to make a movie about the devotees. And he came to the temple and he was really friendly and everybody thought he was really nice. He's going to make a nice movie. And he filmed everything. And then it came out and he was showing that devotees were hippies and they were doing all kinds of illicit things in the temple. And some reporters came and they were showing him around the temple, and then there was a door to the deity room. They said, you can't go in there. And you know, they have the domes above the temple, above the deities. So the article said, those are missile domes. They have missiles in there and they're going to blast India or something. So this song came, a very popular song in the movie. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Dum Maro, Dum Maro, Dum. Hindi people know what that means. You know this song? Some devotees, it's the first time they ever chanted. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Dum Maro, Dum. And so, you know, we had a bad name for a while, and Lokanath Swami wrote in his book, when they went on Harinam, right after that song came out, all the little children know Hare Krishna and Dum Maro Dum. But after a few weeks, they just said Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. They didn't say Dum Maro Dum anymore, because they got purified by chanting. So these people are always helping us. Prabhupada, many times I was experienced. One time we got a terrible article in the newspaper about against Hare Krishna, really bad. The Hare Krishnas are this, they're cheating people, they're selling books that nobody can read, they're in a foreign language, they're cheating everybody to this, that, but... And Prabhupada said this, he has written very nicely, he said Hare Krishna so many times. Another one they showed him, and he was counting how many times it said Hare Krishna. And he said, how many of this newspaper is sold? He said like 1 million or something. They said, that's 25 times 1 million Hare Krishnas. That's very good. Devotees were in so much anxiety. Oh no, we're in trouble, they're criticizing us. Prabhupada took it all as good. He had transcendental vision. So we'll stop. I don't know, time everyone, because I see so many are up at 2 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So maybe they're already sleeping. But that's very good. You know, out here it's easy to get up early, right? It's easy to chant. It's a holy Dham. But if we chant anywhere, we can make it into a holy Dham, into a place of pilgrimage. Wherever you are, if you're chanting and worshiping Krishna, then that becomes a holy place. Okay? Lord Rishabhdev ki jai. Highly recommend reading the whole prayers of Lord Rishabhdev. It's like 17 verses. Chapter 5, Canto 5. Nayam deo deo bhajam kastan kamamarate vid bhujamye tapo divyam puchakayena sattvam shujanti tasmai. So, my dear sons, don't engage in sense gratification, which is available for the hogs and dogs that eat stool, but perform tapasya for spiritual advancement. Then you'll be very happy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Nityananda did this parikrama sometimes in 9 days. Originally we did 9 days. Sometimes 7 days, sometimes 1 day. It was fast. At the end of the parikrama, they have a day with realizations. In those first couple years, when there was no facilities. We had to go in the field and find a pump and get a bucket of water and go out in the field somewhere. But devotees don't know, like certain fields are left for that purpose, and other fields have crops. So that when the party got bigger, the farmers were getting really upset because devotees were trampling their seedlings. But in the realization, so many said, I did it. I never thought I could do it. I did it. I passed in the field. The field is the best, Lokanath Swami said. And they studied passing, and they said the best way is squatting in the field. That's the proper way to pass. So we're fortunate here because we have those floor toilets, so you can sit properly. Otherwise, everything doesn't work right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I was called at the last minute for this class, so I apologize. I wasn't really prepared. I had my plans, and they were devastated. Bhakti Dear Damodarancha was supposed to come. I don't know what happened. Okay? Hare Krishna, Gauranga, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivas Adi, Gaur Bhaktivinoda, Udilo Aduna Purabhabhad,
Hare Krishna.
Dvijamani Gaura Amani Jagi.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for your lecture. We would like to present you a small performance prepared by a night glow group from Mayapur. It is organized by Padmavati Devidasi. It will be a light show by teenagers. If you would like, you can...
Somebody's going to come here?
4 minutes. You can stay here.
No.
It will be downstairs.
Be here?
Yeah, it will be in front of the stage.
Okay.
Dear devotees, can we ask you to give us some space in front of the stage for about 4 meters?
This thing is
this is
not really super warm, unless you have something over it.
From the Bhagavad Gita.
Do you want more?
No, it's
More cheddar?
I have 2 other big cheddars. I just didn't bring them. I brought the jacket. This is, if you have like a jacket over, then it's super warm. If there's any wind. Oh, they're going to do their Chinese yo-yo. I'm really all right. I'm just commenting.
Krishna. Thank you for watching. So these were the verses from Bhagavad Gita, chapters 2 and 18, which remind us of the eternity of the soul, steadfastness in adversity, and complete devotion to the Lord. Since this immemorial, the soul has been wandering in the cycle of samsara, endlessly changing bodies, one after another, and the pitch darkness of ignorance, the flickering of the gunas of material nature looks so tempting that it completely captivates and confuses the living being. Only the light of true knowledge can lead the living being out of the endless cycles of samsara. We ask you and thank you for focusing and accept this small moment of the light and sound as a meditation on the light of knowledge that dispels the darkness of ignorance. O Krishna, lead us from darkness to light. Hare Krishna.